We are live. Hello, all you cool cats and kittens.
Hey.
Hi, everybody. Good evening. Another edition of Not Quite Primetime with CK Mornings. I'm Chris.
I'm Jen.
Matt.
Yes, we did it. We did it. All right, so this is it. This is number 2. Number 1 went really well, so we're going to try it again here. So welcome again to Not Quite Prime Time. We got some pretty cool little graphics. There we go. We actually have some special guests today. We have Dr. Pervez Faruqi, the Chief of Staff from the Chatham-Kent Health Alliance, and Dr. Dax Biondi, Chief of Emergency Medicine and a family physician in Chatham-Kent. So they're going to join us a little bit later on. So we'll actually have a bit of a serious conversation, but if you're watching on our Facebook, you can throw in some questions as well, and we'll get to those with the doctors coming up a little bit later on. We already have some online, so those are doctor questions, but yeah, you can post them on there on Facebook. Yeah, Maddie, we're rocking the Fusion Auto Sales from Little Amsterdam tonight.
Got to represent Tilbury tonight, so I had to put that one on. Yeah.
Well, you need to step back and show us your. Actually, we should do a pants check first of all. We all wearing pants tonight?
I just stood up.
Are you wearing pants?
Yeah.
Prove it. I'm wearing shorts tonight.
Yeah,
Matt, yep, pants. Jen, what is she doing? Oh, there you go. I thought you fell over.
Basically, I have hundreds, thousands of cords around me.
Hey, Maddie, you've got to share your April Fool's joke that the kids played on you yesterday. If you missed it this morning, Matt told what went down at his house in Little Amsterdam in Tilbury yesterday for April Fool's.
Yeah, so I get home yesterday after work, and so it's about noonish or so, and then get in the door, and kids right away are greeting me. They're like, "Hey, how's it going, Dad? Dad's home, Dad's home, Dad's home." I'm like, "Okay, good stuff." And then look on the kitchen floor, and I'm like, "What is that?" And then all of a sudden, my son, who's about not quite 4 yet, he's like, "Oh, Trudy pooped on the floor." And my daughter's a year and a half old, and it legit looked like there's a couple of turds on there. And and then it got even worse. I was like, "Oh man, she made a mess." And my wife goes over. She's like, "Oh, look at that." I was like, "Oh, great, you gotta clean this up now." My daughter walks over. She grabs one of them and just stuffs it in her mouth and starts eating it. I'm like, "This is disgusting." I'm like, "What is happening right now?" And it turns out though that it was just like cookie dough or something that was looking just like it. My wife's killing herself laughing. She fully did that April Fool's prank on me though. That's for sure. Yeah.
That's awesome. Matt sent me a picture, Jen. I don't know if you saw it, but it is very realistic. Yeah, you should bring it in for Cookie Day one day and just leave it in the sales office and see what happens. That would be hilarious. All right, so we got our doctors. Our doctors are standing by. Docs, we'll check in with you here in a couple minutes. We've been so serious on the air lately. We haven't gotten to play some of our games that we get to play throughout the morning, throughout the week on the morning show. So Jen, you have prepared a round of Kijiji Price is Right. And Matt and I are going to play along today. And if you're watching on Facebook Live, you can actually join in as well. Hey Timmy, thanks for tuning in here tonight too. So, all right, Jen, what do you got for us here on Kijiji Price is Right?
Okay, so these are some local ones.
Okay.
So if it's yours, don't comment the price.
Oh, so these are people all from Chatham-Kent.
So the first one, hold on. Can you see that? It's a laminate floor.
Okay.
And it's only one piece.
But wait, it's installed.
Yeah, you get that one piece of laminate floor. It's an 8.5 by 5 piece.
So, it looks like a sheet of vinyl then. Is that what it is?
Yeah.
Okay. Man, that's going to be messy when you rip it up though. So now we got to name a price on it, right? Is this how Kijiji Price is Right we're doing? I haven't done this in a while.
Yeah, you guys both name a price and I'll say who's right.
Okay, Kijiji Price is Right. This is a local sheet of vinyl that is available right now.
You can say, so like you could do like a price, you could do free, or you could do like a OBO, like an or best offer kind of thing.
How big is it again?
8.5 by 5 foot.
I'm saying it's $50.
Really?
Yeah, $50.
I was gonna say like 20.
Who's closer, Jen?
It
Price is Right.
It is. Give me an offer.
Oh,
it's listed as $1.
$1.
$1. Do we know who it's by?
No, it doesn't say.
All right. There you go. Round of Kijiji prices right here on not quite prime time tonight. What else do we got here?
Okay, so this next one is a dog.
Like a real dog?
Yeah. It's up for adoption. It's from Woodstock. Can you see this? It looks like a very muscular...
Oh, my.
I don't know if this is real.
Is that
look at that.
Ooh.
Okay,
You're allowed to sell dogs?
Yeah. So this is what it says. So it's therapy dog price Woodstock. He'll be I actually got off of Craigslist, so.
Okay, yep.
He'll be your bro for life. Think of him as just one of the boys. Saturdays are for the boys. He'll get you jacked or coach you through life, through a little something to get you in shape, whatever you desire.
That's an or best offer. I don't think you're putting a price tag on a muscular dog like that.
Yeah, I don't know. That's I don't know how much dogs go for. If
what's the market price for a dog?
Yeah, especially a muscular dog like that.
Like, I guess you can give them away to a good home, or maybe you want, I don't know. This dog comes with workout training, so.
Yeah, that's right. Jessica's right. That dog's been hitting the gym. That's for sure.
Yeah.
That dog is,
maybe
so put in your.
It's like $250, sure.
I'm saying or best offer.
$20.
Oh, that's. Jeez.
Is that just for companionship? Like $20 per walk, or what?
Yeah, it might be like a.
No, it's a training dog. You have to take it. It's your personal trainer.
Oh, nice.
$20 a training session, I guess.
Timmy, you're way off in the $400. Nice guess, though. I appreciate that.
The next one is a bike.
Rebecca, you are way off. Colette, you're way off. What do we got here?
It's a bike. It's
Come on, Vanna. A local bike. Okay, yeah.
It's vintage, green. Yeah.
Not reported stolen.
Not reported. Well, this is what it says.
Has the serial number been scratched off?
We don't know. This is what it says. There's only one picture of it, too.
Yeah.
Older bike left at house by previous owners.
Right.
Good condition. Tires hold air. Just want gone.
All right, we got some guesses on Facebook. Kevin's going to say, Kennedy says $120. Yeah.
Woo. It's got some nice fenders, but I don't know about $120. Yeah. $30 sounds about right, Kev. There.
Yeah. Geez.
Like it also has a plastic bag on the seat.
Well, that's common. I'm going to go with Rebecca here. That's like a $10 bike.
They said they just want it gone, right? So probably. Yeah. I would say maybe like $30. I was gonna say 30. Kevin, I think I'll go.
What do we got on Kijiji prices, right?
It's free. Just wants it gone. First come, first serve.
All these people have their
so Jessica is right.
Yeah, Jess, good choice. Good guess, guys. Good guess. All right, we do have the doctor standing by. We should maybe get to that.
Can we do one more?
Let's bring in the doctors and see if the doctors want to help out. First of all, this is Dr. Pervez Faruqi from the Chatham-Kent Health Alliance, Chief of Staff, a pediatrician, and I think we have Dr. Dax Biondi too. Is you are there? There you are, guys. Hi, docs. How are you?
Good. How are you?
Very good. So that's Dr. Dax Biondi and Pervez Faruqi is there too. How are you? Very good, very good. So we're just playing a quick round here of our Kijiji prices right before we get into some serious conversations with you guys. You're welcome to jump in here if you'd like as well. So Jen's got one more item, and we have to guess what the prices are on this one. So last item, Jen, what do you got for us?
It is a 19-liter home hardware pail.
Oh. Anything in the pail?
No. How much do you think it goes for?
Okay. Matt, you can go first on this one.
I'd say $10. It looks like a solid bucket.
Dr. Faruqi, what do you think you're paying for a bucket on Price is Right Kijiji tonight? He's still debating on that one. He's going to say $1. Dax, what are you going to say?
I'm going to say, is there any N95 masks in that thing?
Okay,
Faruqi said 25. Dax, what are you saying?
I'd say priceless of some face shields or.
Yeah, nice.
I'm going to say they want something for it. I'm saying $5. What are we going to say for it?
$5.
$5. You know how I know that?
It's yours.
Yeah, it's mine. I put that up there online. That's funny. Dr. Faruqi's having a tough time getting connected here. We'll get him connected and get him on. But Dr. Dax Biondi is with us, the Chief of Emergency Medicine, Family Physician in Chatham-Kent. Let's see if we've got Dr. Faruqi here, the Chief of Staff Pediatrician in Chatham-Kent. There you are. Docs, we got you both on here now, guys. Thanks for joining us. I can imagine your lives have been pretty crazy here the last little while. Maybe we start with you, Dr. Faruqi. What has it been like at the hospital here in the last 2.5 weeks? Got a buffering thing going on there. Dax, what has it been like for you in the last 2-3 weeks?
Everything we used to do has gone upside down. All of our processes, all of the way we see patients and care for people, it's like just everything is being restructured. And it's been amazing because, whenever you have these sorts of challenges ahead of you, you get to know the people around you so much better. There's been a lot of phone calls, a lot of meetings. We're all doing the teleconferencing and all the technology to meet with each other. And so from that point of view, to get to know the people I'm working with, it's been a really interesting experience. But just everything we used to do, all the things I was working toward, as chief of the department, have all just turned upside down, gone to the back burner. Now we're doing this.
That's pretty well. Dr. Faruqi, we'll see if we get him connected and join in here. We are on Facebook Live tonight. We do have some questions. If you have any questions for these doctors, here's your chance to get them answered as we go tonight. We got one. Hope you're staying well. From Amanda Haskell says, I hope you're staying well here tonight. What's it been like? Like, what's the turnout on a daily basis at the emergency room? Is it like swamped in there? Oh, Dr. Faruqi, we'll try you again here. We're going to take him off the stream. We'll see if we can get him back. Dax, what's the emergency room been like as we've been going through this last few weeks? Has it been swamped? What's the lineup like?
Well, our usual day, we usually see 110, 120 people a day. And our volumes are substantially down from that. And frankly, I want to say to the people at Chatham-Kent, thank you. Thank you for getting the message and staying away from the emergency department. That's extremely important right now, both so, people don't come in and get the virus from someone who might, otherwise be carrying it. And also not to, if they're not that sick, not bringing it to people in the emergency department. So we really appreciate that. That said, we've been really busy. We have found that the people coming in are much sicker than they usually are. And so we have an index of how sick people are that we assign to a person when they come in. And we've had a substantially higher percentage of those sick people in the last couple of weeks. So while the volumes are down, the people are sick, and not to mention, all the processes that we've changed, around putting on the personal protective equipment and the rooms we're seeing people in. We've built these special negative pressure rooms in the emergency rooms that when people come in sick, we can put them in those places that exchange the air right outside of the building so the air doesn't come into the building. So all of that stuff has just made the work so much different.
If you have any questions for our doctors here tonight, we're trying to get Dr. Faruqi connected. We're doing our best there. We did have one come in from Jenny. Jenny asks here today can you explain, let me see if I can get it up here. Can you explain to people how gloves and PPE work? So that'd be personal protection equipment. Is that right? And so many people you see wearing gloves, but they're not changing them is her question. What do you have to say to that?
Well, I mean, if you're wearing gloves and you got the virus on the gloves, you're going to continue to spread that, I suppose. For us in the healthcare setting, we change our gloves between every patient experience. Every patient encounter, we're taking those gloves off so that we don't give it to the next person. So I can't really comment on the use of gloves in the community, but certainly in healthcare, anytime we feel we've contaminated the equipment we're wearing, we're going to change that out.
All right, we got another question that came in before we went to air tonight on Not Quite Prime Time. Will Chatham doctors consider using the, hydroxychloroquine? Did I get that? So can you say that, Dr. Biondi? What is that?
Yeah, hydroxychloroquine.
Yeah, that's what I was going to say. Yeah.
Azithromycin, that's an antibiotic. Zinc treatment. It's interesting. There's a lot of talk of medical therapy for COVID and what may be helpful and what may be not. And to date, there are no studies that have proven that any of the proposed treatments, including those ones mentioned below, are going to be helpful to, prevent a bad outcome in a person with the virus. And actually, interestingly, the college that regulates family physicians recently made a statement saying that we should not be pursuing those treatments at this time. And that may change. Things are changing with this pandemic, with this emergency every single day. And that may be different tomorrow. A study may be published. But as of right now, we are not routinely using those treatments.
Here's a great question from Susan. Guys, Jen and Matt, sorry, somebody else can ask this one. I don't want to take over here. Maybe, Jen, you can direct this at Dr. Biondi.
So what are doctors doing when they get home to make sure your family's safe?
Yeah, it's interesting. A lot of anxiety about that amongst not just the doctors. I mean, we're just part of the team, the nursing staff, the respiratory therapists, the folks who are keeping the place clean, the custodial staff. Everyone is concerned about this. Our senior administration is concerned about this, and there's a lot of different practices. People are changing their clothes at work. They're wiping down everything they touch. They're taking their shoes off outside. A lot of people have chosen to move away from their families for this time, and that's a big sacrifice, and are living in different accommodations. So there's different things that people are doing, and everyone's trying to make sure they don't bring it home.
Sorry again, Dr. Faruqi's trying to get connected. We apologize for that. We're trying to get him back on here, but comments coming in on Facebook Live. Here's one here. Maybe Matt, you can handle this one.
Yeah, is there enough PPE for Chatham-Kent frontline staff? I think Lauren Marshall also addressed this today. Sounds like there's a couple weeks that you guys have still of equipment worth, but you need some more. Is that right?
Yeah, actually, I can't speak to how much we have in our stockpile. I know we have enough right now. I've been told we have enough right now for what we're doing, but how long that could last, I don't know. I do know that the entire province is taken, is considering knowing how much a hospital has extremely high priority. I believe our administration is reporting to some sort of province-wide committee every day to let them know how much we have.
There's a question here about shopping and disinfecting our groceries. I don't know if that's something maybe you could handle. Is that something, what extent we need to clean or disinfect our groceries when we get them home?
It's hard for me to say. Our public health officer, Dr. Colby, recently shared some information with me about how this virus is spread from a deposited on surfaces point of view, and it can last on plastic, for example, for hours. I'm not certain I can comment with expertise as to how long it will last on a surface like plastic. Plastic's a fairly common one, but it may be hours. 6 hours, 12 hours, 18 hours. I'm not exactly certain, but it's in that range. And it would really depend on how much of the virus got on the surface as well. If a person coughed directly on your grocery bag who had the virus and had a lot of virus in them, it might last longer on that. Whereas, I expect the vast majority of people who are going to work every day are feeling reasonably well. Otherwise, hopefully they wouldn't have gone. And therefore, they're likely, even if they were mildly sick, likely not putting much onto the surface. So again, it's really hard for me to say. Do I think it's, a reasonable precaution to wipe down your bags? Yeah, I don't think it's a terrible idea. Do I know that it's necessary? No.
Michelle's got a question here. Michelle, thanks to everybody. We've got a pile of people that are tuning in on our Facebook Live, and Michelle wants to know, with other countries saying people should be wearing face masks, should we be doing the same by learning from their errors? What do you say on your end, Dr. Dax Biondi?
It's hard to say. We know that this virus spreads through droplet, which means that when a person coughs or sneezes, those droplets come out and they fly about 2 meters out and then they hit the ground. And again, we already talked about some of the surface stuff, but I mean, if they hit the ground and they don't hit you, then, whether or not you're wearing a mask probably doesn't matter. Now, if you're within that 2 meters and hits your face, well, that's probably how people get it from each other. And in which case, if you're going to be in close quarters with someone, I think it would make a lot of sense to wear one. Does it make sense to wear one when you go for a walk down the street and it's likely that you can get 2 meters from someone? Probably not. And I'm certainly not taking that precaution myself.
All right. Heather asks a question here. Jen, you want to handle this one?
My sister-in-law works in a group home. What preventative measures should staff and management be taking with all staff coming and going throughout the day?
That's a great question. There's been so many I might say, organizational things that have changed. And I have a privilege of working in a few different organizations. I'm only actually going physically into CKHA right now. But I can tell you, for example, the nursing homes, many of the nursing homes in Chatham-Kent are not letting anyone through the door, not even family. Another thing they've done is they've said that staff must pick one home to work in. I'm not certain if the group home that's being referred to has taken this step, but I do know a lot of those sorts of communal living environments have taken the step that, if you're a PSW, a personal support worker, or a nurse, you may only work in that one facility so that you're not going to other facilities and bringing things back. So I know that's happening other places, and perhaps it's happening at that one. As far as providing care to patients, we don't know if a person needs to wear contact precaution or personal protective equipment for people who are asymptomatic. We're not doing that in our medical units in the hospital where we feel people are are very, very low risk for having the virus. We're not using that kind of protective equipment for those people. So I don't think by extension it's necessarily for a person who works in a group home to be wearing that kind of equipment for someone who's also, not having any symptoms of concern.
What is an asymptomatic person? Can you dumb that down for us?
Oh, sure. No, a person with no symptoms. And actually it's interesting because even in the emergency room, we've had a hard time, and we've recently revised our definition of what we're going to consider a symptomatic person. And in the emergency room, I can tell you that it's people who have respiratory tract presentations. We've made it that broad now, where if you have any symptom of cough or cold, we're considering that a possible presentation of COVID as of this past Monday. Also, fever. If a person has a fever and we don't have a clear source for where that fever may be coming from. Also, if a person has this virus is interesting in that it can actually cause the heart not to work right. So there are certain people whose hearts, are very fragile to any sort of problem. And so people who have a sudden change in their heart function, we're considering those people to potentially have it. And then anyone with X-ray findings that are, of pneumonia. And even if those people don't have signs or symptoms, we're still saying, well, that X-ray finding is enough for us to be swabbing and putting that person, if we're going to admit them, in one of our COVID beds.
And this is weird. I watched Drake talk about getting swabs, and what is that swabbing process like? Like, it does not sound fun. Not that you would think swabbing is going to be a great time. It's a Saturday night, but it sounds very invasive.
Yeah, what can a doctor do to a person that actually is fun, right? There's basically nothing. You two things. You don't want to be interesting according to a doctor, and you probably don't want doctors to do things to you if you can avoid it. But regardless, sometimes we do need things done. And, getting the swab, a nasopharyngeal swab, if you need it, certainly important information to have if the doctors or public health recommend it. And basically what we do is we put, it's like a really long Q-tip along the floor of the nose and right into the back of the nose, and do a little twirl. do a little twirl, and it comes out about 10 seconds later. And it's a little bit
10 seconds!
It's a little bit uncomfortable.
I've had that done for something different. It's gross.
Like on a date, Jen? What are you talking about?
No, when I had issues with my tonsils and my sinuses and all that stuff. Once when I went to a clinic, they did that. And I definitely cured up.
Go ahead.
I knew a kid who could do that with a piece of spaghetti, but that's the only
Yeah, or dental floss, right? That's the amazing thing about that track. You go in one, you get them right out the mouth.
Oh no! So that happens. So that process. How many tests have we given in Chatham-Kent? And once that happens, how long until we're seeing results?
Yeah. So we've done about 250 tests in Chatham-Kent. We do have, I can tell you, we have 54 or so tests pending right now. I'm not exactly sure what the turnaround time is. I understand it to see somewhere between a day if it's urgent, and we can request urgent turnaround. And it seems to be, it could be up to even 5 or more days, 5 or 6 days if it's not said to be urgent. So that's just kind of what I've been witnessing, although I don't know that with a degree of expertise. Our infection control people are monitoring that a lot more closely.
We don't want to keep you too long. We've already been almost 25 minutes here tonight, Doc. What do we need to tell Chatham-Kent right now that we're not doing or we should be doing when it comes to coming to the hospital or going to the assessment center? What kind of things do we need to know?
Well, the assessment center is open 7 days a week, from 9 a.m. to 5 p.m. The last appointment's currently starting at 4 p.m., but 9 a.m. to 5 p.m. We want people to touch base with their family doctors or with public health, just to check in with those resources, or even telehealth, and ask them if they feel that a swab is needed. At the same time, if a person doesn't have access to those things, they are welcome to come to the assessment center. We've got extremely qualified doctors, many of them family doctors, who are happy to see people and examine their symptoms and give them a recommendation around what to do next. Home isolation is usually recommended, swabbing, and these sorts of things. The emergency room is still there for Chatham-Kent, both our Wallaceburg site and Chatham. If you're sick, then come to the emergency room. If you are not well, then come to the emergency room. We're certainly we don't want anyone to be at home suffering with an emergency and not getting care because they are scared about coming to the hospital. At the same time, a lot of people are concerned about respiratory symptoms. They're concerned about how bad their cough is. And coughing can be terrible. I've been there. They're concerned about a fever. Even a fever of 38 that can be concerning. If fevers and chills, this feels terrible. But if you can climb a flight of stairs, if you can get your temperature under control, some Tylenol, and feel reasonably well, if you can get the fluids in and keep yourself hydrated and keep yourself peeing, and if outside of those coughing episodes, you're not short of breath, you're not having a heaviness on your chest, you're likely going to be all right. And I mean, it's hard for me to say anything with certainty, but you're likely going to be all right. It's likely okay to at least defer coming to the emergency room and checking with your family doctor, or come to the assessment center during those daylight hours. And Dr. Chris, we can't stop emphasizing enough how important it is to continue to socially isolate. We're really concerned that message is going to get old to people, and they're going to, a beautiful day, 18 degrees out today, right? And people are going to want to come out and hang out and get back to life as it was. This is not over. We feel right now we are ramping up. We are on the upslope right now. Chatham, I think it was today, just had another case announced. Our neighboring communities, Windsor and Sarnia, are announcing many cases. I can't quote their numbers, but they have many more than us. And we're right between them. So we really need to continue to keep that social distance to keep this spread under control.
Well, sorry, Matt, go ahead.
I was just going to say, Michigan's not that far away, and they have more than 10,000 cases. They're on pace with what Canada has as a whole. So that's pretty close.
Yeah. We're worried about that.
I can imagine. Dr. Biondi, we'll have to line up another conversation again at some point, but I appreciate your time here tonight, and our thanks to Dr. Faruqi too. We could see him trying to connect. Little known fact, the chief of staff of the Chatham-Kent Health Alliance was still using Internet Explorer up until tonight. That's the big news. So, Dr. Biondi, we do appreciate it. Thanks for your time tonight.
Thanks so much, guys. Appreciate it.
I appreciate you very much. Dr. Dax Biondi, Chief of Emergency Medicine, Family Physician. That was pretty interesting. We had a little fun. Thanks for all the comments here tonight. We're getting some nice ones in. But there you go. Dr. Faruqi was trying the entire time. I don't know if you guys can see, but he's doing his best. So he might actually still be on this. We just can't connect with him. So thanks to Dr. Faruqi for giving us some time tonight trying to jump in here tonight. So guys, what are you doing now? What's up after this? Jen, have you gotten your dinner ready yet?
I just ate. Thanks.
Oh, did you? She planned early this time.
I actually want to go for a walk. It's really beautiful out. So,
well, it is.
Get my 6-foot-long stick to keep people away and go out for a walk.
Jen's poking stick. Get away from her. Matt, the kids have got to be ready for bed, aren't they?
Yeah, pretty much. We wrapped up the Wiggles already tonight, so we're on to the next one, probably something like Paw Patrol or something like that, and then going through some Netflix shows of my own once the kids go to bed.
Nice. I got to get back out. I was in the midst of a workout tonight, and the bike seat fell off. So I'm lucky to be alive still right now. I'll tell you that much. But I gotta figure out how to continue my workout or finish my workout with no bike seat. So I might be walking. I might be walking a little awkwardly tomorrow.
There's no rest time. That's all. You can't sit down.
No, it's a hard pedal. Thanks for everybody for tuning in tonight, guys. We're going to see you tomorrow morning. Jen, take a hockey stick. Appreciate it.
Good idea.
Want to do this again Monday? Want to do it again Monday? We all good?
Why not? I got no other plans.
Yeah, we had nothing else going on. All right, we'll see you guys tomorrow morning. See you guys.
Bye.